Good morning, my darlings. How are we doing? It is the 11th of June 2025. I don't know why I don't grab my microphone before I start this, but you know, I'm already in my breakfast. Why? Because it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I can. I've had a big conversation with Tanny this morning, and if you have a look at the short that I put out, or maybe it's a video, I don't know, but the one that I put out earlier today, it's a message to those who support those on a health journey. Go and check it out, please. Share it with those you love, okay? Get them to understand, but you have to understand as well that if someone is supporting you on your health journey, they're coming across from their point of view of what they know about food, what they've been taught about food, the damage that has been done to them because of food, or lack thereof, or the people they grew up with, or whatever, their beliefs around it. So they will try and help you coming from their damage. Okay? So you're already damaged going through your health journey because you're trying to get through this the best way you can, right? They're trying to help you and support you in the best way they can, but they're not asking you how to do that. They're just doing it, expecting that to be okay. And it's not. It's really not. It can be really harmful and painful and cause arguments, and it can cause people to go off the rails. It can completely, people will fall off the wagon completely because they're not coping with how you are almost in their eyes bullying them every time they do something to do with food. Okay? Many people find all kinds of different ways to express themselves when it comes to food. And many people have different ways of going down their health journey. If you are a food addict and you have issues with things like fast food, there is nothing wrong with you buying your fast food, the things that you like, and taking 3 bites to get rid of that craving and getting rid of what's left. You know, whether you go to Burger King or somewhere like that and go and get a big cheesy bacon Whopper or whatever, and a small onion rings, and put 3 of those onion rings inside the Whopper, take 3 massive bites of it, make the most of your bites, right? And then get rid of the rest. And if anyone has a problem with that because you're wasting food, like that to me would be not the way to do it for me. I couldn't do it. Okay, it would not be my way of doing it. But for somebody else, that could be a game changer. That has changed something that could be like a 700-800 calorie meal into like a 200 calorie meal. And it's helped them get through that craving for the fast food, right? And if it works for them, awesome. Support that. Love them for that. Okay? Don't turn around to them and say, oh, well, you're just chucking it out. It's just wasteful. Are you paying for their meal? Did they ask you to pay for their meal? No. So what do you care about what they have to say about it? Because you're not using their money and you're doing you. They can keep their trap shut if that's the help that they want to give. All right? Just shut up entirely. Or they could turn around and say, I'll pay half and I'll have what's left. We'll share the meal. That would be helpful, you know? Share it. If you're that worried about the food waste, you know? When it comes to me and food waste, as long as there's stuff in the house that my issue with food waste is that it's left in the fridge to go off, right? So if things are left in the fridge to go off or out to go off, then I will have a problem. I will have a major problem, and I will probably have a meltdown about it, because all I see is money going down the drain, and I have visual images of children going hungry in my head, because that is my day job, and I deal with people who are in major poverty and in destitution, and I help them work their way into making life a little bit easier for themselves. Okay, so that to me is something that I could not do. I could share the meal with Tanny, I could do that, and that would be fine, but I couldn't throw it. It would literally make me sick, violently ill to do that. So again, that's not something that will work for me, but it could work for somebody else. Now, I know people who have used fast food and lost the weight. You know, they have worked out the calories and everything that they love, and they only eat the things to a certain calorie level, and then they stop eating for the rest of the day. And you know what? If that works for you, cool. You know, if you need to have 5 M&Ms because you need to have that chocolate, who said you can't? Who said you can't? If that stops you from going through an entire kilo bag of M&Ms by having 5 a day, how is that a problem? If you put them in like a pill box and have 5 M&Ms in there, that's your allowance for the week. How is that a problem? You know, if that stops you from scarfing down a 4-pack of Mars bars, where is the problem? Where's the problem? I had a bowl of leftover spaghetti yesterday, and Tanny nearly lost his mind. Okay, his head started spinning, and I said to him, sweetie, 300 calories, that's it. It's not a big deal, and it may not even be that many. He goes, why not? And I said, because there's not that much sauce in it. I said, I've been really generous on the calories that I've given for that sauce, because I allowed for 100 calories for the sauce. It probably was closer to 50. Not even kidding. You know? The point is this. You eat what you enjoy. You don't put yourself through hell and back to please other people and do what they want you to do. Obviously, if you are diabetic, you need to take certain foods into consideration, and the way that you do that, and the way that you swap foods out and stuff like that. But that takes time. That's not something that's going to happen overnight. Not for everybody. And then if you have a limited budget, eating healthily can be really friggin' difficult. If you've got a tenner to feed the family for a week, and this is the bit that really pisses me off when I watch these morning shows or these, you know, and they turn around and go, oh, poor people can afford to eat because a bag of carrots, really? Okay, how many of you are going to sit there and feed your children a bag of carrots and a bag of spinach, and your kids be okay with that? And that be nothing else. That be nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Just a bit of carrot and some spinach on a plate. How many kids are going to eat that? How many adults are going to eat that for that reason? That thing? The point is this. Carrots and spinach may be cheap on their own, but all the stuff to go with them to make a meal is not cheap. Meat is off the charts expensive. So what do people in poverty do, or people with limited budgets? They go to places like Farm Foods and they go and buy what they can afford. And if that happens to be a 5 kilo bag of chicken nuggets at a £5, which is going to last the entire week to feed their kids and make sure their kids have something, because the other 5 kilo bag of chips is about £5, but getting bags of vegetables is going to cost you, and they won't last, and the kids won't eat them. But at least you've got something in the bellies of your children. And you can call it a good day. There is a reason the baked beans are really popular in this country. It's because they are an affordable fibre source, protein source. They fill children up. Kids enjoy them. And they are one of the most acceptable vegetables that children will eat, without question. There are aisles in the supermarket dedicated to baked beans in the UK. Not just a little bit of a shelf. The entire thing. The entire aisle. And you might think that's insanity, but it is one of the most highest grossing foods in this country. It's quick, it's simple, it's affordable, and it's nutrient dense. And sure, you can choose between the £3 tin of Heinz baked beans or the 60p one of the own brand beans. Can I just say, Heinz beans weren't that long ago, they were 60p. You know? My husband makes excuses to not buy them because they're too rich. The sauce is too rich for him. He genuinely doesn't like them because he grew up with the own brand ones. And he refuses to pay for one tin of baked beans what he could go and buy 3 or 4 for. So he makes up excuses. And we all do that. So the bottom line is this, guys. You eat what works for you. Eat what works for you. I'm not doing my stats today because I don't want to. I don't want to stick my finger. I've already started eating my breakfast, which is some veg, bake and some leftover spaghetti. And that's it. You know? It's been a day. And we're just trying to get by and do what we need to do to make our bodies work for us. You know? Don't allow other people's opinions to cloud what you are doing. Okay? If you can't afford all the expensive stuff, don't buy it. That's the bottom line. You can't afford it, don't friggin' buy it. But as long as you're in a calorie deficit, who cares? Because you're automatically going to lose weight. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's the simplest way it is. Alright, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I am. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I need to fill up my bottle. Get the electrolytes in there. By the way, it took me 3 months to save up for those electrolytes. Thankfully, with the amount I got, it's going to last me a good 6 months. So we're all good. It's all good, right? So take care of yourselves. Don't let other people's opinions cloud you and what you are doing. Tell them to stay in their lane and step the frig back. You don't need that. And if you are supporting someone on a health journey, talk to them. Ask them questions. See what they need from you. Okay? Love you guys heaps. Bye.